The time is just gone 9:34 a.m. and it's time now to talk to Dr. Saeed Elnamrouti of the Gaza University visiting South Africa to raise awareness about education in Gaza and also at the same time looking at some of the challenges and the difficulties that is faced by higher education institutions in the region. Dr. Saeed Elnamrouti, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and welcome.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's my great honor to be here in South Africa and to conduct this interview with Salam Media. I used
Yes,
to use.
yes, Alhamdulillah. In fact, wonderful that you are in the country, and we hope you are enjoying our lovely weather.
Yeah, of course, of course. We came from Gaza. Now winter is starting to get in Gaza while we here, like get in summertime. So it's still lovely. It's kind of hot, but it's okay. It's okay.
Yes, no, Alhamdulillah. Now, Dr. Said, you are here in South Africa for two reasons. Obviously, to raise awareness about education in Gaza, and also at the same time, looking at the difficulties that are faced by higher education institutions.
Yeah.
Now, let's just obviously take a step back. Let's just do a bit of an introspection and an analysis on the issues in Gaza, particularly regarding education and the challenges that are faced by the people of Gaza.
Uh, yes, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First of all, I used to come here to this country. I love this country and I love the people here in this country. I got my PhD from this country, from Wits University in the field of strategic human resources management, and I'm a lecturer at the university in Gaza. Actually, it's been like 4 years. I couldn't be able to come here due to some internal issues besides, COVID-19. However, the situation in education, particularly in higher education in Gaza, is a very challenging issue. Actually, until the year 1991, we don't have any university in the Gaza Strip, but only the Islamic University of Gaza, where I'm working up to the present. After 1991, we had established two important and big universities, which is Al-Aqsa University and Al-Azhar University. After 2005, after the withdrawal of the Israeli occupation forces from inside the Gaza Strip, we established other new institutions and universities to cope with the dire need of education for the population Gaza. And maybe, as a matter of fact, our people realize all the time that education is one of the most important weapons that we have against the occupier and against the oppression. We are a very good educated people in Gaza. We seek to educate ourselves. We seek to educate the new generations who will become with time the new leaders or the leaders of tomorrow. Therefore, it's a big challenge in Gaza. While the occupation is exist, while the tighten siege and the closure imposed on the Gaza Strip now for 15 years, you can imagine what difficulties you might face in terms of equipment and instruments, in terms of traveling to conduct research, in terms to exchange students with overseas, with out of Gaza, to bring students to the Gaza Strip, or your students will be able to travel out to exchange stuff, academic stuff, to bring them to the Gaza Strip, or you to travel out and exchange, academic stuff. So these some kind of the big challenges that we face, because our movement outside of the Gaza is extremely restricted. We have only the Rafah borders, with the Egyptian side, and they help as much as they can. But the need is huge, and the resources is very limited. That's why it's difficult. And one of the most important challenges that we face in the Gaza Strip is the inability of students to pay tuition fees. The collapse of economy in the Gaza Strip. The bombs and the war that waged against the Gaza Strip, like each 2 years. We can say even in the last 10 years or 12 years, we had 4 or 5 wars aggression wars actually against the Gaza Strip. You can imagine what difficulties this impose on the economy, on the poverty of the people, and their ability to pay tuition fees. And our universities, totally, depend on tuition fees of the students. Now we have thousands of students who regard as poor students, who are unable to pay tuition fees. We have students in the 4th year of study. They are about graduation, but unfortunately, they suspend their studies because they can't pay tuition fees. The universities in Gaza, our university and the other universities, try to do their best to help their students, but also universities suffering from, this economy. The employees of the universities suffering. We just only get 40 to 5% of our salary. This is some of the big challenges that we face in Gaza Strip. But in spite of all these difficulties, we keep moving on. We keep trying to manage our life. We stand on our feet. We survive, and even we move forward, and we achieve more and more progress in terms of opening new faculties, new specializations, accept more students. We do our best, but honestly, the situation is very challenging, complicated, and difficult as well.
Yes, Dr. Said, in the absence of a good education system and, as you mentioned, all the challenges and the problems, young people are the future. And we know that a large percentage of the Gazan population are made of young people. And it is not only about their future, about their lives, but it is also about the future of Palestine. It is about the future of the liberation of Palestine, where earlier on I was talking to somebody out of Myanmar, talking about young people leading the opposition to the coup and the military government, the brutal military government in Myanmar. But many, many young people obviously standing up, raising their voices, and also those that are outside of the country. And we see it with many Palestinians who are outside of the country, highly educated, but making a big impact as far as highlighting the plight of Palestine, and also taking the struggle to the rest of the world, that you need to stand with Palestine, and at the same time raising the huge challenges that the people of Palestine face under the Zionist occupation.
Exactly, 100% true. The majority of our population is young, and we, the Palestinian community in Palestine as a whole, not only in the Gaza Strip, in the West Bank, East Jerusalem, and even in the lands of 48, we regard as one of the most educated people, not only in the region, in the Arab region, but in the world as a whole. Because we strongly believe as much as we educate, we will educate ourselves and the new generations, our liberation, our dignity, our freedom will be catched on our hands. So we stick to the education process. Strongly believe that we need, to educate ourselves and our new generation. This is the most important thing that will lead us to liberate our land, to liberate ourselves, to live with peace and dignity and freedom. And whoever experience the Palestinian people, professionals or academics, will realize soon the amount of education that they have, the qualifications that we have, the experience and the good performance that we do wherever we are, located and work in any, place in the world. Alhamdulillah, our people when they hire in South Africa, in Western community, in Arab countries, wherever they, alhamdulillah, got a high position because they are well-educated people. And that's why we strongly believe, me as for myself, I strongly believe that we need the education. The education is the strong weapon that have. And that's what had the great Mandela had said like 10, 30, 20 or 30 years ago, that education is the most important weapon that people can have against oppression and to achieve their dignity and the freedom. So in spite of all challenges, in spite of all the difficulties that we face day by day, we will keep moving forward, we'll keep with the educational process. We seek the support of the Muslim community, Arab community. We seek to help all those students that who are in dire need to help and support to continue when their studies. We strongly believe, my brother, that, and my respected audience and listeners, that we need to teach people how to fish, not to feed them, because they will depend on themselves and they will feed themselves and their families. So, and they will be, good contributors to the liberation of our country, inshallah.
Well, inshallah. Now, Dr. Said, your visit to South Africa, who are you meeting and the messages you will be conveying?
Yes, actually, I came among many different issues, because I told you I love this country and I love the people of this country. And from time to time, I love to come to this country. This is first. The second issue, I'm coming to apply for the PR, my visa. I need to renew my visa. In the meantime, as you mentioned earlier, I need to raise the awareness of people about the education and the challenges that we have. So I planning to meet with community dignitaries here in Johannesburg or in other provinces. I'm at the arrangement stage, and hopefully, I will be able to meet with many different people, academics and others, to might exchange culture and knowledge about the situation in the Gaza Strip in terms of the higher education sector and the challenges that we face in this regard.
Well, Dr. Said, we wish you well during this visit in South Africa. And as always, we do appreciate you taking time out, talking to us, our listeners and our viewers here at Salam Media. All the best to you, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Dr. Said Elnamrouti of the Gaza University here in South Africa. And we're going to go for a quick break. We come back, we'll be joined by Dr. Levi Ndau, political analyst, and we're talking about the premiership of Panyaza Lesufi.